Pilates ball, or you could have a rolled up towel. I got a fancy Pilates ball though, because I'm fancy, obviously. So you're gonna start rocking side to side. Almost forgot our workout notebook. Uh-oh, you don't want me to go from my brain. And you're just kind of massaging out that lower back, getting rid of the rainy day. The rainy day Pilates cure is right here, right? It's rainy outside. If you do Pilates, it stops raining. I've heard that's a thing, you know? So go ahead, you can hug your right knee to your chest. The left leg will be out straight around the floor. And you're just nice and easy, gonna go side to side, right? So making sure that you're aware of your core. You wanna make sure that you are trying to keep that lower back down and your core is starting to brace. If you wanna have one foot down on the ground, you can, it's up to you. Then you're just nice and easy, going side to side. And we'll go about one more to each side, and then we'll get those hamstrings stretching out. So one leg's up straight, grab behind that hamstring or calf, and you're gonna alternate there. So just nice and easy, trying to stretch out those legs. If you're really tight, you can move slower. If you wanna have one foot down on the ground, you can. It's kind of up to you, it doesn't even matter, right? You do you. That's the nice thing about Pilates. So making sure you're still thinking about your core and that lower back, right? Try not to strain your back already because you're warming up, and if you hurt your back in warm up, that's not gonna be good for later. So one more to each leg. And we're gonna relax those legs down. And of course, we'll do some bridges. So feet are flat on the ground. Make sure your feet are about hip width or shoulder width apart. Exhale, we'll press up, squeeze those glutes. Nice and easy, coming right back down, right? So just controlled bridges. You can move as slow as you want. I wouldn't go fast because it's warm up. And if you go fast, that only hurts you, not me, right? It's just gonna be a really long warm up for you. So on this next motion, you're gonna press all the way up. We're gonna come halfway down and back up. So you're doing your half bridge. Every time you press up, make sure you are squeezing those glutes, right? You're keeping your core tight, you're breathing. Always be breathing. That's a thing, you know. ABB. Those are the right letters, in case you didn't know. And on next motion, we're just gonna press up. You're gonna hold that bridge. You can bring those arms up, and we'll just move those arms wide and back just to get those arms moving a little bit as we hold our bridge. We'll do two more like this, and then you'll go front to back, right? So you'll kind of alternate there. Doesn't that look cool? I do bridges and arm work at the same time. So we're gonna go about one more each way, then you're gonna relax those hips down, and we're gonna get our core in gear. So hands are behind your head, make sure those elbows are wide. You're gonna exhale, lift into that crunch. Inhale, coming back nice and easy, right? Making sure your core is tight. You're letting your head rest into your hands. So if you're feeling this in your neck, try to just relax those shoulders more and just let your head fall into those hands, right? So you're keeping your elbows wide. That's gonna help you from pulling on your neck. And it's also gonna make you hold a proper posture. Oh, shucks. So this next motion, you're crunching up as high as you can. You're coming halfway back and up. So on this, your core is contracting the whole time. You might even be shaking. My abs are shaking, and that's okay, right? It's Monday. My abs got to recover. So just nice and controlled, making sure you're lifting. You're keeping that core tight. You're breathing. And then we're going to crunch, and we're going to hold. And as we hold, we're going to march our legs, of course. So just nice and controlled. Your lower back should be pressed to the floor, and your abs should be getting a nice burn going through them right now, obviously. And we're gonna go about 15 more seconds here, and then we're gonna get warmed up with the next move. So just nice and controlled. Make sure that you're breathing. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then you're gonna relax. So the next one that we're gonna do is just gonna be your regular old bridge. You're gonna press up. You're gonna go up on your tiptoes. Heels come down, hips come down. Up, up, down, down. So every time you're trying to go up on those tiptoes as high as you can, you're stretching out those calves, right? Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? Right? And you're getting all the pops out of those ankles. My ankles are pop, pop, popping. And on this next motion, you're gonna stay up in that bridge. You're gonna stay up on your tiptoes, And then you're gonna let your knees go wide a little bit. So you're kind of almost doing like if you had little butterfly wings here, right? You're going wide, but it's controlled. You're not trying to go so wide that your legs won't come back in, right? Act like there's a band around your legs is what it should feel like almost. But it's Monday and you don't have a band around your legs because I'm being nice to you right now, right? So remember, I was nice to you during warm-up. Okay, we got about 15 seconds. And then we're gonna warm up the core again, and then we're gonna get going. So just nice and controlled, making sure you're going wide, you're breathing, I would hope, right? We're gonna go 2 more, and you're gonna relax. So we're gonna get ready for some core bracing moves here. So you're gonna have both legs in tabletop. So when your legs are in tabletop, make sure you draw that belly button in, right? Your lower back is to the mat, and you can feel your core muscles being nice and strong. So as you're here, you're just gonna take a nice big inhale in. As you exhale, you're gonna kick both legs up as straight as you can, point your toes, squeeze. Nice, easy inhale, coming right back to tabletop, right? So it's a slow and controlled move. This isn't one of those things like, hey, go as fast as possible. If your back's feeling really tight or it's arching, just do one leg at a time, but you really wanna stretch those legs out as much as you can. Point those toes and squeeze, right? If your legs aren't straighter than mine, we're just gonna keep on going nonstop. I'm just kidding. But just nice and controlled. So try to match the movement with your breathing. Try to pay attention to your lower back and core that whole time. So when your legs start to go up, it's a lot harder to keep your core tight, right? That takes a lot of lower belly control, but you can do it. I promise, okay? Nice and controlled movements. Okay, we're gonna do about 3 more here, right? So you can go at my count, or you can just stop when I count, or when I stop, there's 1. Right, here's 2. We'll go 1 more good one. Here is 3. Then you're gonna relax on down. And you're gonna grab your ball, or you have a rolled up towel. So you're gonna put that between your knees, and then you wanna have your feet all the way together. So with your feet all the way together, you should already feel yourself squeezing this. We're gonna press up and down into bridges. Okay, so you're just pressing up and down, making sure that you're actively holding a squeeze with that ball. So your feet are all the way together, right? So make sure your feet are all the way together. I see people do this all the time and their feet aren't together. So I'm telling you, put your feet together, right? And that's gonna help you squeeze the ball. It's a hack, okay? We got about 15 seconds, and then we're gonna stay up and we're gonna hold and squeeze. Yep, you heard me, hold and squeeze. So just nice and controlled, pressing up and down. So on your next motion, you're gonna stay up. Now you're gonna squeeze, pulse the ball. So it's like you're squeeze, 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 squeeze. So it's an active squeeze. It's not a hold, right? It should be burning pretty ickily. Ickily, that's a word. I wouldn't lie to you. Okay, but you wanna squeeze, 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 squeeze. Never stop squeezing. You're gonna be like, Mary, this is terrible. I don't wanna squeeze this anymore. I don't have much left in me to squeeze. But you do, you know, you do. And you're gonna hold that squeeze, and we're bridging up and down. Oh, so make sure you can tell you're squeezing that ball. When you squeeze, it shouldn't feel good right now. This should not feel like recovery, right? So keep on trying to squeeze your towel or your ball as much as you possibly can, right? You are getting inner thigh action here. And who doesn't want a strong inner thigh? Everyone does. Okay, in 10 seconds, we're gonna squeeze, pulse again. Yay, right? Nice and controlled. You're almost there. You're gonna stay up and squeeze, 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 right? That's my pace. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. So you should be squeezing this whole time, and it's a repeated squeeze. Even when you're relaxed, it's not really a relax, right? It's squeeze, 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 squeeze. Oh, yucky. You got 15 seconds left. Then we're gonna get some core action going. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 10 seconds. Keep squeezing, keep holding. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Okay, you can take the ball out for just a second just so you can stretch. And then we're gonna bring our legs into tabletop, and wouldn't you know it, the ball's going right between those knees again. Yay. So you're gonna have your hands behind your head. So as you crunch, you're gonna squeeze the ball. So you're gonna crunch and squeeze, you relax, and you're gonna relax from that squeeze, but not so much that the ball drops. Okay, crunch and squeeze, and back, right? If your back really hurt, you could have your feet flat on the ground and just do the same thing, just crunch and squeeze, and back, right? So lots of ways to modify this. When you squeeze, it's incorporating your full body. This makes this a full body exercise, right? So that's the cool part about this move. Okay, we've got 15 seconds until we add to this. And it's not a squeeze pulse, so that's good. Okay, you're almost there. You're gonna lift and squeeze, hold your crunch. You're gonna lower those legs down and come back, right? So notice your knees are staying bent. You've got to pay attention to that lower back. The lower those legs get, the harder this exercise is on the core. Make sure you're maintaining that squeeze with the ball, right? You're doing the best you can. You've got 15 seconds, and then we're gonna repeat, okay? So you're holding the crunch to help you keep that low back down, right? We're squeezing the ball. You got 2 more. Here's 1. Here is 2. Okay, so head's coming down. You're gonna crunch and squeeze. Relax, head comes down. Crunch and squeeze, and back. So all of these moves you wanna do nice and slow and control, right? You really wanna focus on squeezing, crunching high, and coming back. If you went fast on this, you're really just gonna hate these exercises, right? But right now you love it if you go slow, okay? You're doing an awesome job. On this next motion, we hold our crunch, legs are coming up and down, right? So nice and controlled. Pay attention to your back. The closer your feet get to the floor, the harder it is, right? Lots of core bracing. This is incorporating your full body, right? So if the tops of your legs are burning, that's okay. If your hip flexors are burning, that's okay. You're using it all, okay? 10 seconds. If your abs are burning, that's okay too. Okay, you're almost there. Let's do 2 more. Here's 1. Here's 2. And relax. Okay, stretch those legs out for a second. Let those inner thighs have a break. So now you're going to have the ball is going to be underneath both feet, right? So if it felt like too much to have the ball underneath both feet, you can have 1 foot on and 1 foot off. Okay, but we're just going to do a regular old bridge. You're just pressing up and then back down. Pressing up and back down, right? So on this, you could use a towel, right? You could use a foam roller, right? Something that's going to be a little more round and unsteady. So that's kind of the goal here, is to just throw your balance off. Okay, just nice and controlled. You can let your hips come down in between each one. On this next one, though, we're going to press up and we're going to hold. So as you hold, try to drag those heels in. Even if you had nothing under your feet, go heels down, toes up. It's a totally new bridge, okay? So keep on holding, keep on squeezing. If you feel like you're rocking side to side, that's okay, because it's unstable, right? You're almost there. We got 10 seconds. Then we're going to repeat going up and down, okay? Nice and control. Ooh-wee. Right? And up and down, right? So up and down, up and down. You're doing a great job. Up and down. If you're doing 1 foot at a time, you could just switch feet here, okay? Do what you need to do to help you stay moving the whole workout, right? So keep on lifting up and back. We've got about 10 seconds, and then we're gonna hold again, right? Yes. So on this, you kind of have to keep your legs together no matter what, because the ball isn't gonna be wide enough for your feet to go apart. So next motion, you're up, you're holding. If you wanna make it harder, bring those arms up into the air. Don't let them help you balance, okay? Keep on breathing. Keep on holding, right? Yeah, that's not too bad. After this, we're gonna go back to core, so that's good news, I think. Okay, we got about 15 seconds. Keep pressing up as high as you possibly can. You're doing awesome. You're almost there. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right. So now, grab that ball or towel. It's gonna go between your calves. Oh, we're mixing it up here a little bit. So right between those calves, okay, you want to make sure on this that you're going to be pointing your toes as much as possible, right? Don't let yourself have floppy ankles, okay? So we're going to step up this crunch and squeeze. We're going to crunch, kick out, squeeze, and then come back, right? Crunch, kick out, squeeze, and come back. If the kick out feels like too much for your back, you can repeat what we did last time and just keep those legs in tabletop and crunch and squeeze, okay? But try to extend those legs as much as you can. The higher up you keep your legs, the easier it is to brace that core. Okay, in 15 seconds, we're gonna keep those legs out there. Okay, you're doing a great job crunching and squeezing, right? So on this next motion, you're gonna crunch, kick out, squeeze, 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 squeeze. So you wanna act like you're gonna chop the ball or towel in half, right? It's a repeated squeeze. This is where you have to point those toes. If you notice your ankles are looking like this, all floppy all over the place, they shouldn't be. Point, 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 squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keeping that core tight. We got 10 seconds, then we're gonna repeat this, right? This is called the squeeze workout, right? All we're gonna do is squeeze today. Okay, got 3, 2, 1. Head comes down, legs are in tabletop, right into it. Exhale, kick out, squeeze, and back, right? Use that crunch to help you brace your core, right? Do it as a nice fluid movement, but remember, we're not going fast, right? You wanna focus on every single aspect of this exercise so you can really squeeze with all your might. Doing a great job. Your inner thighs are probably going to be sore later. That's good though. Talk about a neglected group of muscles, right? They don't get worked very often. They feel left out. Okay, hold that crunch. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Point, 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 right? So try to have those legs as straight as you can. Again, if straight legs is too much, do tabletop. As long as you're squeezing, I don't care. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Point your toes. You have 15 seconds, okay? Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 10 seconds to go. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 5 seconds to go. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Ooh, that's exciting, isn't it? I think so. All right, back to a bridge. This time, you're gonna have the ball underneath your right knee armpit, right? So to hold the ball there, guess what you have to do? Squeeze the ball. That's right. So you want to squeeze, act like you're going to pop that ball, okay? So you're going to be in a bridge. You're going to bring your right leg down to the floor and back to tabletop. But remember, you have to squeeze on that ball. The ball's just not going to naturally stay in your leg, right? So if you feel like the ball is dropping out of your leg or the towel is, guess what? You're not squeezing it, okay? Trust me, my ball isn't naturally staying here. I'm squeezing, okay? You have 15 seconds, and then we're gonna really make you squeeze the ball, okay? You're doing a great job. 10 seconds, nice and controlled. Okay, so you're gonna keep that right leg in tabletop. You're gonna squeeze on that ball as much as you possibly can. So you're using your lower half of your leg to squeeze as much as possible. Squeeze, right? This is an isometric. It's hard. You gotta be mentally tough for this. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. It's so icky. I could talk through it. That's why it's easier, right? No, it's not. I think it's hard. Squeeze down as much as you can. Use that calf. Squeeze. Act like you're going to pop. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, but we switch sides. So right leg is down. Left leg is in on that action. Right? Up in your bridge. Left leg is coming up and down. Right? And for me, I'm right leg. So I'm thinking like, this feels good. And remember, if your ball is falling out, guess what that means? You're not squeezing it enough. So make sure you're squeezing with all your might, right? If you point your toe, it does help you squeeze, right? Of course it does. Nice and controlled, right? And on this next one, the leg stays in tabletop. Squeeze down as much as you possibly can, right? It's an isometric, so it should be a challenge. You are using so much of your core with this squeeze. So squeeze down, down, down. Down, 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 down. Squeezy, squeezy. Just think about how good your legs are gonna look, right? You're gonna be like, whew, I'm gonna go put on some skinny jeans after this workout. And then you can check yourself out and you're gonna be like, whoo, hot stuff. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax, okay. So back to our core. This time with your ball, you're gonna have it right underneath your shoulder blades. So it's basically holding you up in a crunch. If you have a towel, it probably won't work as well, and you could just do a regular crunch, okay? So once you have that ball in place, right underneath those shoulder blades, or if you're a woman, it'd be like right where your bra strap is, as long as you're wearing a bra. So you got your elbows wide, you're gonna crunch up and come halfway back. So if you're using a ball with this, it's gonna work your core like crazy, right? If you just have a towel, that's okay. Do a mini crunch and you'll get that same effect. So with this, if you have it placed correctly, you should feel it's all in your core, right? Nothing else. right? You shouldn't feel it in your lower back, right? It should be core, core, core. And you should be like, Mary, this is disgusting. This hurts. And I'll be like, I don't care. And you'll be like, oh, okay. Okay, so hold that crunch up and you're gonna march. So all the power's in your core, right? Put your hands there, feel them. Oh my goodness, right? Elbows are staying wide. Hold as much strength as you can in that core, right? Remember, if you have the ball, you should just feel this through your core like crazy. Your core should be like cement. That's how tight it is right now. It's like a brick wall of abs, right? Not even the Kool-Aid man could break through. Oh my gosh, yeah. So one more to each leg, and then we're going back to our crunch, right? Lift up and half that. So it's more of a pulsing crunch, but remember, it's not fast. So by pulse, I mean small motion. Keep those elbows wide, keep lifting, keep crunching, keep working the core. It's so fun, isn't it? Yes, it is, right? You're doing a great job. And you're gonna hold and you're gonna march those legs. So you got one leg and then the other. One leg and then the other. So this is our last move we've got. Nice and controlled. Make sure you're holding that crunch. Elbows are wide. Okay, we got 15 seconds. Keep on moving. You're almost there. 10 seconds to go. Whew. Oh yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can relax. And there you are. A little Monday torture. Ba-doom.